My mate Kenton has done some extraordinary things in his life, and he's pretty hilarious as well.
We're going to talk about climbing, we're going to talk about sports, hot topics, and we're going to merge all that together for an entertaining 30 minutes. Have you ever been camping or glamping?
I've been glamping, and I struggled.
Yeah.
My parents used to...
That's thespian kind of in you?
Well, you know, there's a lot of brave thespians out there who would definitely do it, but I'm just rubbish in the wild. I remember going camping with my parents when I was a kid. We went to the south of France. I hated it.
Yeah, the wilds of the south of France.
That's the only time that I've ever done anything adventurous. I did the Duke of Edinburgh Bronze Award. I got the award, but I don't think I even did the
Well, you did better
expedition.
than me. I mean, I shouldn't say this because I was busy handing out awards at St James's Palace last year. And I never actually finished my bronze or my gold. I did the expedition parts of things. That's what I really wanted to do.
But you never did the actual volunteering?
I didn't. I did some volunteering and bits and pieces, but I never quite got across the finish line on it, which is a real shame.
So are you saying that I've got a bronze award and you don't?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if we could get closer, I'd high-five that achievement. But
we've got to stay 2 meters apart.
Yeah, you can stay over there, which is quite lucky.
So 14 Everest summits. There was one incredibly special one in 2012.
Yeah, 2012, yes. I mean, they've all been special.
I can imagine.
They've all got their own thing. I mean, the first one, get this. So imagine my first time up Everest back in 2004. I found myself as a lead guide. So I'd never been there before. I'm there working as a lead. I've got lead guide, two clients, and finally I crawl to the top of Mount Everest. First team of the year to get there. That's a competitive spirit in me coming through. Yeah. Anyway, pretty much on our hands and knees, crawling up there in a blizzard. And I'm there on my own. The client's just behind me, and my Sherpa, dear Sherpa, who's unfortunately passed away since then, he hung back a little bit. So I got to get there on my own. And there's a whole world underneath me. Anyway, I pull out a sat phone and phone my mum or my parents. And it's, I don't know, like 3 o'clock in the morning in the UK. And the telephone rings and my mum answers. And I go, oh, who's that? And I'm like, God, Mum, I mean, who else is it going to be at 3 o'clock in the morning? Come on. And she goes, oh, hi, dear. And she, I had a chest infection in the building. She goes, oh, yeah, how's your chest? And I'm choking back tears. You know, I'm on top of the world. And I'm phoning, for the first time ever, and I'm phoning my mum.
Did she ask you if you brushed your teeth?
Oh, dear, you know, how's your chest? Oh, yes, it's much better, thanks, Mum, much better. She goes, oh, that's nice, dear, yeah, that's nice. Where are you? I went, Mum, I'm on top of the world. And she's like, wow. That's just marvellous. Now, listen, if you want to speak to your dad, he couldn't sleep. He's out walking the dog. Can you call back in maybe half an hour? I'm like, Mum, okay.
And did you stay up there for another half an hour?
No. It was all I mean, the thing with climbing Everest is, and it's a bit of a cliche, but it's perfectly true, most of the bad stuff will happen on the way down.
Right. So,
you know, we have well, it is actually a written rule. You know, we have a non-negotiable turnaround time of 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, no matter where we are on the mountain, on summit day, we're turning around and coming back down.
Yeah.
Because that leaves enough daylight and energy and hopefully oxygen to safely get back down to the top camp in daylight. Because as soon as it gets dark and you're tired and you're exhausted, things start to compound. So now we have a 1 o'clock turnaround time. So to stay for like hours on it just doesn't make sense. Get there, tag it, get the photographs, get the memories, and let's get down. I think it was Ed Viesta's, a good friend of mine, American climber. Getting to the top is optional, but getting back down is mandatory.
Yeah.
So put that in UK speak. You know, there's no bragging award in a pub if you don't get back down.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, remember Kenton? I think he got to the summit of Everest, but he snuffed it on the way down. I mean, it doesn't work. You know, you got to get home. Absolutely got to get home. So, you know, spending time on the summit, it's good for the view.
Yeah.
And the view is pretty spectacular, but
I can't even imagine it.
It's pretty cool.
I find just getting to the top of some of the hills in Cirencester that you get a spectacular view.
Can you name any hills? We've got Cecily Hill.
Cecily Hill, wonderful view from up there.
You can't see anything from up there, can you?
You can see the church. It's lovely.
Well, yeah, okay. What, down the...
down the bridle
yeah.
way or whatever it's called.
Okay, well, I'll give you that one.
Yeah. But you know, standing 8,000 and how many?
8,850 meters. We could have done a little competition, couldn't we? But everybody would have got that right. 8,850 meters above sea level. So to put that in some sort of context, if we can ever go flying again on holiday or back to work or perhaps out to Everest, when your plane reaches cruising altitude, have a quick look out the window. That's roughly where you are.
And you've walked that from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, but base camp is 5.3, so
Right.
it's about 3,000 meters is what we end up climbing, which is still damn long way.
It's incredible. So talk me through the process. If I wanted to, and I'm the worst, I would never be able to do it. There are things that you've achieved in your life. I couldn't do a single % of them.
What, like run a marvellous local sort of theatre that punches well above its weight?
Yeah, well, you know, horses for courses, I guess, isn't it? But the reality is that there are things 99 point whatever % of the world couldn't do what you've done. If I wanted to, how do I start?
Well, I suppose that initially you want to build up some form of experience. So what we find on Everest more and more is that we get in some people, you may have seen the pictures of the queues and people say it's overcrowded and this and that and whatever. To a certain extent, yes. But Everest is this massive mountain that can absorb quite a lot of people. The biggest element of danger is people going without the necessary experience. So start small. I mean, if you want to get into theatre, you don't go straight to Broadway, do you? Of course you don't.
Some do.
Well,
But
okay.
yeah.
But it's the same on Everest. Some go straight to Everest. Yeah. Way better to start to gain the experience, to work out, what all the equipment does, how you use the equipment, and then start building the experience. And then perhaps, if it's something you want to do, start approaching some of the commercial teams. You can do it without going on a commercial team. But most people would join a commercial team that have all the infrastructure, the Sherpa contacts, the logistics to then look after somebody to go to the summit.
But is there a sort of a special personality trait that's in you and your contemporaries?
Nah, not really. I mean, basically, you don't need to be an Olympic athlete. So let's take it back a notch. Let's go to Everest Base Camp.
Yeah.
Now, what does it take to get to Everest Base Camp? Everest Base Camp is a little bit like walking through the Cotswolds, the beautiful Cotswolds that we live in, on steroids. Because instead of Cecily Hill, we have things like Amadablam or Kusum Kanguru or Island Peak or Nuptse and Lhotse or Everest herself. It's part of the dramatic scenery. And it's being able to do 7 days back to back, essentially, of walking 60 kilometers. So it's not that far. 60 kilometers over 7 or 8 days, it's 10 kilometers a day, 12 kilometers
What's
a
the
day.
temperature?
During the summer, during the seasons, it's not that bad. It gets cold at night. But honestly, most people can do it, and it's an amazing thing to do.
And that's
Climbing
to get
Everest,
to base camp.
To base camp. Climbing Everest, getting to base camp, it's not necessarily about physical prowess. It's all up here. It's that self-belief.
But isn't that sort of the hardest, I know it's not a muscle, but the hardest muscle to train between the ears?
Well, I mean, when we used to go down to CrossFit, I'd say something completely different. I mean, what was it we used to do? It's the snatch. Oh, my God. How difficult is that? Now, they're difficult muscle groups to train, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I never really got above the PVC pipe we used to throw.
You're pretty good.
But yeah, I mean, yes, it is. It's generating that self-belief in yourself, and that's not really a muscle memory. That's like a cognitive thing that you have to try and push through. That belief that you can actually do it, and once you do, honestly believe in yourself, then all of a sudden, virtually anything is possible.
But it brings the conversation round to whether this. We were talking just before we went live that it's about that competitive spirit within people, and you. It's amazing, even in your social media, we see on your Instagram page, consistently, day in, day out, you're out there, you're training, you're getting it done.
Getting it done.
Which is the tagline you've been using.
The hashtag I've kind of adopted.
But you just go and, if you can, just go and check out Kenton's stories, because one of the things I know, if I want to get better, that's all I've got to do is turn up. whether it's to work to be better at running a theatre, or whether it's to the gym to get fitter. If I walk through the doors, if I do it day to day to day to day, I get better and things get better for me. You are the best example of anyone I know who is just consistently, day in, day out, putting the work in. And it's obviously for your own health and fitness, but also towards training for the next
big mountain
expedition.
Well, I think yes and no. I mean, turning up is a massive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn up and you're 4/5 of the way there.
Yeah.
But honestly, a number of times I've been there, we've all been there. Yeah, and I'm there in these, where we keep all the shoes, a little boot room at home, and I'm looking at my trainers just thinking, I don't want to do this. Or even this morning, I'm lying in bed, and it's nice and warm and snuggly, and I think, I don't want to go for a run this morning. I mean, running doesn't come naturally to me. And I kind of run like Forrest Gump. I've got a load of metal work in my legs, and I kind of lollop around the fields. I think the farmer's thinking, oh, there goes Forrest again, as I kind of sort of stumble across. I mean, there's no hordes of people behind me anymore, because obviously social distancing doesn't allow that. But yeah, it's just having that. It's trying to form a habit.
Yeah.
Trying to make a motivation into a habit. And you get that motivation, and I don't train properly. I probably don't get the returns from the amount of time I'm lolloping around the fields, but I enjoy it. And that's the single most important thing. I enjoy going out there with the dog Otis and going running and clearing my mind and having a bit of me time, some space to actually do what I like to do.
And do you think that catapults you into the day better?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Absolutely 100%. Yeah. I wake up in the morning, I have some mint tea, I fill this full of coffee, normally burn my lips. I mean, God, whoever invented, everybody has a thermal mug now. How many people have burnt their lips on a thermal mug?
Every single one.
Yeah.
Every
and there's
single
a really
one,
famous picture of Hillary and Tenzing. And Hillary is there at, I don't know, camp, whatever, on Everest in 53. And he's there with a tin mug that says Hillary on, a chipped tin mug. I normally take a China mug like you. So I take 2 or 3 of those to Everest with me each year. Normally 1 or 2 will smash in transit.
I think you should try and take this mug
to
Captain. Everest. Well, this is my mug from a production. So
I'm going to steal it from you.
Could you take this to Everest this year, later
well,
in the year?
If I go to Everest
if the next time you summit, if you can get a photo with this mug,
I'll
be incredibly pleased.
But yeah, okay, I'll do that for you. But I have my coffee in the morning. And I head out, I come back, and it really. Oh, there we go. The boys have brought it up. So that's Hillary and Tenzing. And if you look closely, I think on Hillary's cup it should say Hillary. And I guarantee that they've probably got really gnarly lips, because not only are their lips sunburnt, but they've also burnt their lips on a tin cup, an enamel cup. I mean, you did your bronze Duke of Edinburgh. I bet you burnt your damn lips on a tin cup. Should come with a public health warning. I'm telling you, biggest danger of climbing Mount Everest is taking a tin cup. It's not the regulators blowing up.
Officially, the biggest danger of climbing Mount Everest is the tin cup.
Tin cups. So I was with Ranulph Fiennes. Ranulph Fiennes, what's that?
Clang.
Clang. So I was looking after Ranulph Fiennes. You wait till I get onto the Bransons. So Sam and I got rescued from the top of the Matterhorn.
Sam who, sorry?
Sam Branson.
Clang.
And it was hilarious. So we're on top of the Matterhorn, and we're there, and Sam came down with quite acute altitude sickness, and we had a climb time. Anyway, we get to the top of the Matterhorn, and I had to call Air Zermatt, arguably the most professional rescue service in the world. And Air Zermatt, and it comes, and it's this guy hanging, really cool guy hanging from the long line. So they've got this line that comes out from the chopper, and it comes down, and he lands, and it's this big, rotund mountain guide from Zermatt with a pair of boots that look like Hillary would have worn them on Everest for the first year. He's got his old wooden. I mean, he's not got an ice axe like this, and he's got an old wooden one like this, and he lands. Poof, he's got no crampons on. There's snow and ice everywhere. Sam, poor Sam, he's really not well, and he's clutching across on top of the Matterhorn. And he lands, and he starts wielding his ice axe around, a bit like Thor. Says a few words in Schweizerdeutsch, which I don't really understand, and indicates chopper's buggered off at this stage. And then the chopper comes back in, and he's like, and he clips us in, and all of a sudden, woof, we get pulled off. With just Sam and myself, we get pulled off the Matterhorn
You're
by the
hanging.
chopper. Yeah, we're hanging on the bottom, and the chopper pulls away. And I see the Matterhorn over Sam's shoulder. It's like the Millennium Falcon going into hyperdrive, but in reverse. And all of a sudden, it goes, whoa, it just disappears. And whoa. And all I can think of is get the GoPro out of my pocket. So I've got to go to film it. But Sam is clinging to me so much because he's petrified that I can't actually get in.
Sam, what are you doing?
And all I can, it's just etched on my memory.
Did you didn't get any footage?
Got no footage of being whisked off. Well, we got 1 or 2 pictures here. So yeah, that's Sam with a yellow jacket on, and you can see he's not feeling.
If only it was the guy on the right, because he's got the GoPro on his head.
Yeah, that's. I can't really see from here. That's Noah on the left. Is that Shane on the right? I think it's Shane. But yeah, so that was amazing.
If you'd have got that footage, you would have had millions of views on YouTube.
I know, but well, one of those things. But we saved Sam's life.
You were talking about runoff.
Oh, runoff fines, of course, yeah. Yeah, what were we talking about, runoff?
I don't know. You wanted to bring him up.
Runoff fines. What were we talking about, runoff fines?
Well, you went
oh, yes, Everest. We were talking about burning your lips.
Yeah.
So there we got runoff fines. The world's greatest living explorer, according to the Guinness Book of Records, although I suspect Mike Horn might have something to say about that. Anybody come across Mike Horn, the Swiss explorer? Well, he's South African, but lives in Switzerland. Guy's just off the charts. Where'd you get him? Try and get him patched in by some
do you know
video link. No, his brother. Anyway.
We'll get him next time.
So there we are. So one day on Everest, Rand decides that he wants to go partway through the icefall on his own. Now, Rand is the world. This photo is great. Okay, so Rand is 6'3", something like that. And how tall am I?
6'1"?
6 foot.
You're 6 foot.
Yeah, but I'm towering above Rand.
Yeah.
So we were taking some promo photographs, and I read somewhere that Reinhold Messner did some promo photographs. So Reinhold Messner, the Italian mountaineer, first to climb all the highest peaks in the world. But he's quite small. And he was doing some promo photos with Ed Hillary, who's quite tall. So Messner apparently was so vain, he got the production crew to dig a hole, and Hillary apparently had to stand in the hole to make them level. So what I did on this shoot, I dug a hole,
I made him...
And said to Rand, oh, do you mind just standing in the hole? So Rand stood in the hole, and I'm now towering above Ranulph Fiennes. Anyway, I got Ranulph on Everest. This is, that's just, so the mountain behind us, you just see it going up in the background on that. It's actually the Matterhorn. Anyway, we're on Everest, and Rand wants to go and practice just going up and down the icefall a little bit, and he's got a Sherpa with him, so okay, well, that's all pretty cool. Comes back a few hours later, and he's utterly destroyed his lips. His lips are literally hanging off through sunburn. And I'm looking at it going, what have you done? I let you out of my sight for like a morning. And he's like, what? I mean, his face is like a beetroot. What have you done? You're sunburned. I go, oh, am I? I'm like, yeah, and your lips? He goes, oh, no. I put chapstick on my lips. I'm like, chapstick? That's got no SPF value. He goes, oh, I've been using chapsticks for years. All my Antarctic and Arctic, always chapstick. The chapstick's fantastic. So I'm a bit naughty, really. I got a hot cup of tea for her. There you go, Rand. He goes, oh, God, that's sore.
If it was in one of those tin cans, then...
Yeah, well, it was.
Oh, right, no wonder.
Yeah. Ranulph Fiennes, I don't think he's ever forgiven me on that. There he is.
And he's going to be thrilled that you're bringing it up again as well.
Yeah, well, he's probably written, I don't know, he's 58. I mean, his books are actually very readable.
I tell you what, that photo of Rand is almost as good as the serious photo of you.
Well, I wonder if that's one of Martin Hartley's photographs.
Have we got the serious photo of
So
Kenton's
apparently
show?
Ben Fogel, perhaps I shouldn't say, I'm going to say it anyway. So Ben goes for a photo shoot with Martin Hartley. Martin Hartley is this lovely photographer.
Look at there it is.
That's taken on an iPhone.
Is it really?
Can we say that iPhone, or do we have to say other phones are available?
Yeah.
Is this a BBC? It's
This
not a
isn't the BBC.
Oh, it's not
This
a
is
BBC.
just the
Other
Barn
phones are
Theatre.
available.
Yeah.
In actual fact, if anybody wants to tell me what the best camera phone is, I need to upgrade my one because I take all my photographs.
Okay, so if
on a camera
anyone
phone.
has the best camera phone for Everest,
Yeah, we go.
send the advice through.
Yeah, love
and
that.
We'll debate
Mine,
it next
because
week.
mine's all cracked. I use an iPhone. It's all cracked up. iPhone 7 or something like that. Anyway, so Ben rings up Martin. Martin is this fantastic photographer based in Bristol. He shot loads of explorers and adventurers, and Martin's probably got more time in the Arctic and Antarctic than any other British explorer. Yet nobody's ever heard of him because he's always behind the camera. The guy's a legend. Anyway, Ben rings him up and says, "I'd love you to shoot my portrait in the style that you shot Kenton." Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. I think Rand probably did the same thing on that one. Make me look like Kenton.
But wait a second.
Be more like
look at
Kenton.
So who took that photo on the right?
That's Martin's.
Is that the one
Yeah.
you're referencing?
No,
the other one
he
wasn't-
did one a few years ago. I'm wearing a green top. Your team's really good, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're good
pretty
at
damn
getting
good.
their stuff up here.
They're brilliant.
Do they ever get in front of the camera?
No,
Yes. Oh.
sometimes.
There's a hesitation
sometimes.
there. You weren't sure about that, were you?
Well, I was
Are they
going to say,
allowed in
if-
front
if-
of the camera?
I like to keep the attention on me.
Yeah. Okay. I'm surprised I'm allowed on stage. No, but Martin's phenomenal. He did a couple of portraits, I know, about 10 years ago, which I used a lot. His front cover of my book is one of his. And people reference the
Those
style that he shoots in
They're-
by saying,
no, that's
there
the
we
one,
are,
that's the one.
like that. Yeah. Be like Kenton. That's what they
There
say.
you go. It looks like you're about to burst into song in that.
Burst into song or burst into tears? I burst into tears quite a lot.
It's quite an intimidating photo. Okay, so on that note, you're in base camp or you're on one of the camps on the way up to Everest or wherever you may be in the world, feeling a little bit,
I know what you're going to bring up. Go on.
No. What am I going to bring? You tell me.
Nothing? No, go on.
No, I'm just thinking that maybe, you've got the fire going, you've got your ridiculously hot tin can. And do you ever think, right,
It's
I'm
a
just
cup,
going to...
it's not a can.
Do you ever think, I'm just going to have a little sing-song?
A sing-song.
Do you, or you are the Sherpas and the lads on the mountain, lads and ladies? Do
No,
you ever think...
genuinely not. No,
Does
I'm not-
nobody ever have a sing-song? Because we went to see Touching the Void. And the amount of music that is in the culture of climbers and mountaineers, that they enjoy a dance. I've heard about some antics that have been going on.
Yeah,
But do you ever just have a
we're
good
not from the Welsh
sing-song?
Valleys, okay? I mean, just because you guys get together and sing of, land of our fathers, whatever it is.
But so you're not much of a singer then?
No, tone deaf. No, I think the only time I've ever sung on an expedition, we were in Pakistan, and I was with the Benson twins, and everybody was getting drunk with the Pakistani porters, and there was loads of singing, and then they slit the throat on a go, and it all got a bit, yeah, it was all pretty full on.
Wow, that sounds
it was
like a great night.
Yeah, and now I'm basically plant-based diet now, so the whole thing, looking back on it, is like, oh my God. I got served the kidneys and the liver, because that's the delicacy. So, anyway, they meant good. And so we're having this, everybody's getting drunk on some local hooch of some description. And it's all getting really boisterous, big fire, and the locals are singing, and they're trying to get us to sing, and there was 4 or 5 of us, I forget how many. And we ended up singing something like 10 Green Bottles or something ridiculous.
It's a good song.
It's a great song.
Especially when he started in 99.
And you could kind of get everybody else, I forget what you call it, but no, we don't sing.
You don't sing?
No. I know you can sing, but that's
But this is not about me. This is cool conversations with Kenton Cool. So
what are you doing here?
what am I doing here?
Yeah.
I'm making sure that you don't say anything too offensive.
Okay. So I think what we need to do, I think next week we need to we need to get some entertaining guests.
Yeah, we need to put some
or whatever
guests
it is.
in the tent.
Yeah,
and
but
they
that's
come
a
out
bit
from the tent.
close. No, unless we can fumigate the tent.
Well, can we
Maybe.
fumigate the tent, guys?
I don't know if that passes.
Can we just press the smoke button to fumigate? We can fumigate it right now, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it. We're still waiting.
Ah,
There we go.
Jesus. Woo.
So does this remind you of...
Yeah, it's like hanging out on a ledge on the north face of the Eiger. Whew. That was quite a funny one. So we're on the north face. They talk about north face of the Eiger. So we're on the north face of the Eiger. And it was a little bit like this because it's quite a scary thing. And it generates its own weather. And it does get a little bit like this. So it generates its own clouds that come in, and we're there. And we get to, I'm there with Rand Fiennes and Ian Parnell. We filmed it for Marie Curie. We're raising money for Marie Curie. And we get to this one particular bivouac site where we're going to spend the night. And there's no ledge. It's all covered in snow. So we unleash the beast that is Ranulph Fiennes, who, unbeknown to me, was 3 times, I think it was. If you're listening, Ran, which you're probably not, but if you are listening, was it 3 times? 3 times British Army hole digging champion.
Hole digging?
Hole digging. So I inquired, I said, Ran, so what does that actually entail? As well, you get given a spade, and you get given like 2 hours, and it's a person that can dig the deepest hole.
Is that not in the Olympics?
Should be.
It should be in the Olympics.
Yeah, but we unleashed the digging champion that is Ran, who absolutely pulverized this ledge flat in about 20 minutes, just like shoveling like a machine and just throwing it all off down the north face.
How'd you get out?
Get out what?
When he's won the hole digging champion, it's like it's.
Oh no, he's not digging down. He's creating like a platform you can sleep on. You can't sleep in a hole.
I know, but when he was in the army and he won...
Oh, no, they probably got a ladder or something.
The 2 hours nailing a hole down into the crust of the earth. How do you get back out?
Well, I shouldn't think it's that deep. Well, we asked
2
Ran.
hours?
Ran, if you're listening, tell us how deep the hole was. In fact, I'll message him. I'll email him. I'll message him and find out how big his holes were.
I want to now start the Cotswolds hole digging championships.
It'd be hard here because a lot of it's Cotswold brash. So it's full of stone. So I live right next to the farm. You know, it's
like the ultimate hole digging championship.
It'd be awful. It'd be absolutely awful.
Where would be the best place to start the hole digging championship?
No, we could do it here.
No, you don't want to do it here. We'll do it. No,
I'm not going to do it. I'll judge.
Okay, so where would be the ideal? Could you do it in Wales? Has Wales got good hole digging potential?
I have no idea. I mean, it's full of miners.
There we go. There we go. So we could do the hole digging championship.
There we go.
We'll get that organised for next.
Put it out to the audience. See how big a hole you can dig in 2 hours.
And send us your videos. Send us your pictures of your hole digging. Get it done. In it
Kenton
together.
Would say. I don't know if that's getting in the hole together or just in it together. Seems to be another hashtag I've been using.
That's good.
The community spirit.
So with that,
because haven't you got a lift here somewhere? I remember you showing me around the barn theatre.
Yeah, it's just underneath the
tent.
Underneath the tent, but we can't do anything with that right now. But that would be cheating in the hole digging championships. You can't use a hydraulic lift in your digging.
It's quite, so often when you're climbing, you end up using this bit. So this is the adze on an axe.
The what?
An adze.
How do you spell that?
A-D-Z-E.
Adze. Gotcha.
Adze. And you end up sort of chipping away at the snow or the ice to try to make a ledge to bivouac on, which is, a good bivouac's amazing, but an unpleasant one is normally down to the company. Yeah.
I just don't know what that word is.
Well, adze.
No,
bivouac.
Bivouac. What is that? Tell me what that is.
Well, bivouac is a bivouac is like an impromptu camp.
So you do it on an edge.
Yeah, it could be on a cliff face. It could be beneath a climb, on top of a climb.
Gotcha.
So you perhaps haven't got. Well, you might. And you generally don't have a tent. So you've got your sleeping bag. A bit like this here. You've got your sleeping mat, and ideally you find a flat piece of ground. You put your mat out, put your sleeping bag out, and that's it. That's where you're going to spend the night.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get caught out and you end up having a hanging bivouac there pretty bad, or you're climbing some ice and you can't really chip out of you end up sort of sitting in a seat a bit like this.
And you're just there stuck for the night.
For the night, yeah, it gets dark.
That must be awful. I was watching The Dawn Wall.
On El Cap, Tommy Cadwell.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the free solo with Alex Honnold.
And
those guys are moving fast enough. Well, Alex is moving fast enough that he's probably never bivouacked in his life. Well, it's not true, but...
Well, those guys...
they had a portaledge.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I've got a portaledge. Maybe we're going to hang it off here one day. I've got a portaledge, kick him out somewhere.
But just, you sleep it. In the mornings, I'm the most disorientated anyway. So
no, you'd be very focused on a portaledge.
Oh, I can imagine. Because you wake up and you realise, oh, golly, I am hanging a mile up And if I just, if you roll out of bed the wrong way, you're gone.
But yes. So I mean, if you're not used to it, you still got your harness on, and you might be tied to the face, etc., etc. But yeah,
you don't do that on Everest, though, right?
No, not on Everest. I have on other mountains, and I've climbed El Cap 4 or 5 times, and used Paula ledges there and things like that. Lots of fun stories from hanging out on Porter ledges. They're quite fun things.
Give us one.
Give you a fun story. Well, I mean, the easiest thing to think about is how do you go to the loo?
Should we? I think what we should do is
leave that for next week.
Leave that one for next week.
Yeah.
And lots more stories.
Absolutely.
So this has been the first Cool Conversations with.
Well, it's actually been a second Cool Conversations. The first one was Ben Fogel. You can do the clang thing if you want to.
Oh yeah, clang.
And my daughter at Hathrop School.
That's true.
So we've stolen the name from my daughter of Cool Conversations.
Saffron, I apologise to you that we've nicked your title. Your Cool Conversations is going to be way better than ours anyway. So thank you.
But mainly because she's not dealing with you.
That's true.
So she interviewed Ben Fogel.
Yeah, I saw.
The clang. What happened to the clang?
I've already done Ben. I've already done Ben Fogel clang. You can't double clang people.
Okay. Right, well, we should leave it there.
We should leave it there.
You already.
Lots of excitement to come in the next episode of Cool Conversations. I'm Iwan Lewis.
I'm Kenton Cool.
And we'll see you
next week, same time.
Next week, same time. Ta-da.
This is the Barn Theatre, and the Barn Theatre is, like many of us, struggling right now. And this is one way that the community is trying to support Ewan and all the troops out there. You can't see them behind the cameras. So at the end of this, if you can, hit the donate button and donate 10p, £1, £10,
10 million
whatever.
pounds would be great. That will sort us all out. That'd be fantastic.